Y'all, last night's episode left me big mad, like super pissed off. I wanted to talk about Robyn and why she feels the need to poop in front of wine. And I wanted to talk about how funny it was that her and Gizelle were left in a room with only one washcloth and they got to listen to people's toilet water. But when we get to the end of the episode and that mess went down with Mia and Wendy, like I was on fire. I was just completely on fire. I was pissed off. I was frustrated. And I know I'm not alone. I'm glad to see that online, like on Twitter and on Instagram and all of that, it looks like social media is being quite supportive of Wendy, which is what she deserves in this particular instance. But before we get into all of that, help a sister out, hit the thumbs up button, share the video. Let's talk about this colorism that we feel like we're experiencing on Potomac. Some people say it's not colorism. I'll be honest, in earlier seasons, I pushed back on the colorism narrative. But things I'm seeing this season make it really, really hard to ignore. Anyways, leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Share the video, subscribe, all of that kind of stuff. And then let's go ahead and get into the episode. So the episode picks up with Wendy on the phone with Peter, letting him know that she and the other ladies are coming to visit his club in Miami, Bar One. And everybody likes to call him Patricia. Child, I see why. I've never actually done it myself, but child, I see why. So he tells Wendy that he tells Mia that he's got beef with Wendy. And of course she wants to know the tea and all of that. But it's like, why are you talking to her about whatever you got going on with Wendy if it's supposed to be business? Like, y'all gonna try and drag Wendy later and act like she's not professional, but how is it professional for you to be talking to Mia about you and Wendy's possibility of actually working together, like in a negative way like that? I don't like that. That was very, very shady. Anyways, so Ashley comes to Gizelle and Robyn's room, and I did think it was hilarious that they got to sit there and listen to people's toilet water running over their heads. It kind of serves them right. It seems very fitting to me. Judge me if you want to. And I also love the fact that they had one washcloth to share. How y'all rent this nice, big, expensive place and they ain't have enough washcloths and towels for everybody? That's kind of crazy. Anyway, so moving on. Robyn talks about how she doesn't understand how some women still don't poop in front of their husbands. Listen, I've been married for 26 years. It'll be 26 years in a couple of months. But I've been married for a long time. And we have never had any situation where it became necessary for me to poop in front of my husband. Like, I know that some people need to like prove that we real and we don't hide nothing, but honey, I'm gonna always hide my poop and the smell of my farts. Like, I don't care. I don't care how long we've been together. I don't care how tight we are, how close we are, how many other secrets we share. I am not about my husband having to endure that. That's for the rest of the world. Y'all can have the farts and whatnot. He don't get that side of me. Whatever. I need for my husband, I'm on the sidebar like a mug, ain't I? But I need for my husband to always see me as the baddest, finest, most beautifulest thing he knows. I don't want him to ever think of me as, damn, she stank. Sidebar. Anyways, she continues to talk about the fact that she still walks around the house nude in front of her 14-year-old son. I understand Robyn less and less every season. I have a 21-year-old son and an 18-year-old son, and I haven't really found an occasion where I needed to walk around nude in front of them. We've been in this house together for a very long time. Never found a reason why I can't put on a robe. I don't think they want to see that. As a matter of fact, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, they don't want to see that. It's just weird. But y'all let me know if that's cool with y'all. If y'all think that's strange, am I being uppity? Because I've been known to be a prude from time to time. But all of that is weird. You're pooping in front of folks. You're walking around nude in front of folks. Maybe that's why that man ain't really trying to marry you again. Anyways, as the ladies are getting ready, Mia is like trying to embarrass Jacqueline. And y'all remember I used to like Mia? I can admit when I have messed up. But Mia is like trying to embarrass Jacqueline. She's complaining about the fact that Jacqueline is asking for her for things and all of that. And it was just like, you talk like this is your best friend. And as the episode progresses, I realized that Mia is one of those women who actually doesn't know friendship, because Jacqueline is supposed to be her friend, like not her show friend, but her real life, true best friend. And what I'm seeing is that situation when you're in high school and your friend is your friend until someone cooler comes along. And it seems like Jacqueline has probably been the only friend who's been willing to continuously deal with Mia and her phoniness and her lies and her make-believe life. And that's really, really unfortunate. I don't know why Jacqueline has put up with her for this long, but it became very apparent to me that it was one of those situations where she loved Jacqueline. Jacqueline is my best friend until something cooler comes along, i.e. Gizelle and Robyn and a TV show. And so now she's basically crapping all over Jacqueline. Like, it was Jacqueline asking you to borrow stuff was nothing major. I mean, like, say no, and then that's it. But you talking about it all in your confessional, and then she goes outside to tell, who was it, like Ashley and Robyn and Gizelle or something? She goes to tell them, oh, she keep asking me for stuff. Girl, don't nobody care. She asked you for deodorant and she used your husband's ball shaver. Like, okay, big deal. But she really wanted to just kind of like have a reason to dog her out, like feeling like that was going to endear her to Robyn and Gizelle. I don't get it, but it just became very evident that she doesn't really know how to be friends. Like, I'm assuming that she probably has always felt like she was the pretty girl. She probably always felt like other women were jealous of her and all that kind of crap. And so she's never really taken the time to build real friendships, particularly with women. I felt kind of bad for Jacqueline. Like, she was really kind of trampling all over her pretty much every time they showed the two of them. She was kind of shushing her. Like, it just felt like she just really had very, very little respect for her. I didn't like that at all. So while they were outside, when she was telling Robyn and Gizelle about Jacqueline, she mentioned that they're going to bar one, and she of course has to gossip to them about the fact that Peter says he has beef with Wendy. And so Ashley asked her, are you going to tell Wendy that we're going to bar one? And of course she's not going to tell her, because she wants it to be like a setup. She wants it to be like an ambush. She wants Wendy to walk into some mess. I could never be a housewife, because I don't have the desire to just hurt people. Like, I just don't have that in me. And I'm probably more like Monique, not saying she was right in everything, but I don't have a desire to like comfort people and ruin their lives and stuff. But if you do the wrong things to me, I'm gonna have a desire to go upside your head. You asked to get dragged, you would get dragged. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so while they're standing out there, Gizelle begins to talk about how she knows Peter, and how Peter, who some of you refer to as Patricia, has told her that Wendy did some research on him in order to proposition him to do this Nigerian lounge, and he's just going to go along with it and see what happens or whatever. Wasn't the grown man trying to be a housewife? What are you talking about? He's just going to go along with it. So you playing games and wasting her time while she's trying to connect with you to build a business? Like, what grown man does this? He is such a, I'm not going to say Patricia, but you know what I mean? Like, I can't even, I was like, that is so whack. And then of course he, you know, is putting her business out there that she didn't sign some paperwork or she didn't complete some paperwork or whatever. But that's not Mia's business. And I just feel like if it's actually business, it really shouldn't be talked about amongst people who are not involved. But that's just me personally. But I wouldn't do business with none of these folks anyways. And quite frankly, I really don't see the problem with researching somebody who you want to do business with. Like, it kind of seems like to me that's a natural step. I'm going to research the bank before I do business with them. I'm going to research an online seller before I do business with them. Why the hell wouldn't I research a restaurateur before I do business with him? Peter, shut up. That's all. You used to be fine, but now you just look dumb. So they talk about where's Candace, and Ashley says, well, Candace has just had a chip on her shoulder. Like, y'all really be trying to ruin people's lives and then acting like it was just another day of the week. What? You accused her husband of like trying to cheat on her with your friends. And you did it laughing and smiling after chilling in her house and acting like good girlfriends. Ashley, you're horrible. You're absolutely horrible. And so they sit and they talk about it. And we see that Gizelle has decided to make up something about Chris rubbing on somebody's butt. Ashley's like, I never said that. So they, of course, replay the tape, and she didn't say that. She was rubbing her own leg like while she was talking and telling the story. But Gizelle just took it with it and ran and just added all kinds of extra stank and sauce. That's why rumors are so dangerous, because as they go from person to person, people add a extra little sauce to it and everything, and it just becomes a whole different dish, and it's just so damaging. Like, y'all are too grown for this type of behavior. That was a mess. And again, Gizelle is now looking once again like a big old fat liar. And of course, she's making it like Ashley is the one who said this when she didn't. So as they're at the dinner, Charisse is once again like trying to establish this friendship with Karen. I love that Karen is just not having it. Y'all could call her childish. You could say she running from Charisse, whatever you want to say. But I love a woman who stands her ground and holds her position. And Karen is just like, that ship has sailed. Like, that bridge has been burned. And she is not checking for Charisse at all. People are saying it's because Charisse knows Sir's secrets or something like that. That doesn't make sense to me, because if I felt like you knew my secrets and you could hurt me with them, I'm not going to keep dissing you and pushing you aside. I want to probably bring you in closer and try and make sure we cool so you don't rat me out. Like, it doesn't make sense to say that she's pushing Charisse out because Charisse knows her secrets. That doesn't make sense at all. That's something silly that Robyn came up with, because I already told y'all I don't think Robyn is all that bright. I don't think Mia is all that bright at all. And I don't think Gizelle is all that bright. They have very, very weak imaginations. But anyways, yeah, Karen is not trying to deal with that mess. And so as they keep on trying to get her to talk to Charisse, Karen just starts singing happy birthday to herself. She said a little prayer. And she just starts singing happy birthday to herself. She has not got any energy for this lady, and I love it. I'm standing for how she is treating Charisse. I know it's not nice, it's not healthy, but at least she's not throwing drinks and she's not trying to be involved in no drama. I love it. So then we move on to make-believe Mia, mayhem Mia, causing this trouble with Wendy. My patience with that one is just pretty much gone, like null and void. So she said something to Wendy about, Peter's got beef with you because you didn't sign such and such. And so Wendy is like, I don't have beef with men. Like, I don't have beef with men at all. And Mia goes, don't start, because that's my family. We really gonna pretend that Wendy just started something? What? Like, is this real life? So Wendy is basically just saying that she don't have no beef with Peter. Like, whatever business they have, if it's not going perfectly, like, that can be discussed later with her and Peter. But if it's going to be a beef situation, that's something he would need to discuss with her husband, because she, as a Johns Hopkins professor, as a CNN correspondent, and all these wonderful things that she is not about to sit up here and be beefing with no man. She's like, if that's y'all jam, y'all do that. But me and mine, we don't do that. Mia does not have, I told y'all that I believe she's an idiot, especially after Watch What Happens Live. Mia does not have the intellectual capacity to go toe-to-toe, word for word with an educated person like Wendy. Let's be very honest. She threw the drink because she simply could not compete. She cannot box with words with Wendy, with Dr. Wendy Osefo. She had nothing else she could say, so she threw a drink. And you can't just say, well, I couldn't think of nothing else to say, so I threw a drink. So you come up with the reason why. And so she starts throwing this mess in there about she was talking about my husband. She wasn't talking about your husband. And if she was, so what? You done talked about other people, like, y'all all do it. Whatever. It did not garner throwing a drink. Like, that is absolutely not acceptable behavior for a grown woman to be displaying in public at a restaurant. Then I got really pissed off. Okay, here it comes. So I'm gonna try and be cool. But then I got really pissed off because as Wendy started responding to her, she gonna call Wendy ghetto. Stop doing that mess, because Wendy wasn't being ghetto. Wendy might have a certain little swagger to her. Yup. Wendy might have a whole lot of things to say, but ghetto is throwing drinks. Ghetto is throwing blows. Ghetto is throwing your purse and trying to swing your purse or whatever, walking away with a broken nail because you acted a fool in that restaurant. But calling Wendy ghetto is where the colorism becomes extremely apparent for me, because you said it because she's darker than you. You said it because you know that the whole world has this stupid ass fear of brown people, particularly darker people, and in this case, a darker woman. And that's why you can get away with saying that nonsense. That's why your light-skinned friends, Gizelle and Robyn, were backing you up, saying that you were being antagonized when you completely orchestrated the entire incident. The entire incident. You planned it from the moment you told Peter you all were coming, and you didn't tell Wendy on purpose that you all were going to be at his restaurant. But you called her ghetto. And you black folks who are saying that Wendy was ghetto because of her body language or whatever, get a clue. Look at yourself in the mirror. Get a clue. Look at your own history, because that's a mess and that's unacceptable. So then you got Robyn decides to pull her phone out and she's recording, but she's not recording the incident. She's not recording this whole argument. She's recording Wendy, because she wants to exploit Wendy, because she wants to paint Wendy as a monster. And she is yelling out that Wendy should stop antagonizing the person who just set her up and assaulted her at the table. Like, the only word that keeps coming to my mind is disgust. I was disgusted by Robyn's behavior. Robyn is ghetto, ignorant. I was so pissed off at the whole scene. I hated that production glorified her recording Wendy by doing that RB whatever mess graphic that they put up on the screen. It wasn't funny. It was super corny. Robyn is tacky. Mia is tacky. And you both should have been extremely embarrassed by your behavior. Nasty. Nasty. So Karen is saying that both women may have been wrong. First of all, whatever Wendy said after getting a drink thrown in her face, I excuse. Because you ain't been assaulted. And her little lime green little short set was cute. But anyways, whatever she had to say after being assaulted, I pretty much excuse. I don't know if I believe it. I'm not going to say it should be repeated. It's definitely was rumors and nonsense, I think. But I understand it. This woman has embarrassed her and attacked her. And then she's got no one really standing up for her. Even though Karen was saying both of y'all were wrong, no one was saying like Mia. Like no one was like, what the F? No one was grabbing Mia other than security. She starts slinging her purse and all of this. Like she's like fighting production. It was wild. It was tacky. And then I saw a clip on Twitter of next week's episode where Mia and Robyn and Gizelle are riding in the car back to the house. And Robyn's like, are you okay? Asking Mia, is she okay? Why? Why wouldn't she be? Nobody did anything to her. Like, I enjoy the drama of reality TV, but I don't come here to see people fight. I don't come here to see my sisters physically fighting. I saw enough of that in DPS. Like, I did enough of that in DPS, let's be honest. Like, I didn't come here to see that, and I don't want to see that, and I don't want you all to keep promoting that. And then I was so sad that Wendy allowed her to pull her off her square and get her emotional to where she said something about she was going to F her up, or I can't remember exactly what she said, but it was one of those things where it was like the camera wasn't really on her anymore, and I think she was just like angry. And so then we get this disclaimer at the end of the episode disassociating her behavior from Johns Hopkins. And so that made me just kind of worried about how this might impact her career and her livelihood. All for TV. Like, Wendy, it's not worth it, girl. It's not worth it. Like, you worked hard for those accomplishments. This was ugly. And I hope that Bravo won't allow this kind of stuff to continue. Like, Robyn Ben needed to go. She wasn't interesting before. And now that she's trying to come out of her shell, she's a horrible hot mess. And I don't need any more of it. Anyways, I forgot what else I was gonna say. I have some notes. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. This was disturbing. I hated to see it. I really hope we can do better. I really think that we as Black people need to have more conversations about some of the things that we have accepted as normal in our lives that might actually be really damaging to our community. Like referring to each other as ghetto, particularly when one of us is more brown than the other. Particularly when our behavior is poor, but we put negative monikers on those of us who have more Afrocentric features. Think back to OG on Housewives. We've seen Evelyn, Tammy, Malaysia, all these other more Western looking women trying to fight on that show. Oh honey, they be tough. They be big and bad with each other. But let a more Afrocentric looking woman, I don't know if I'm using the right word, but someone with more pronounced African features and darker skin, let one of them be upset, and then they got to record the reunion from a different room. Is that really how we gonna treat each other? That's some BS. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. I really hope that the show isn't going to continue down this path because it kind of hurt to watch. I didn't like it at all. So let me know your thoughts on it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.